We are back for another episode of the BOYSCAST. Extra bonus episode every week at patreon.com/theboyscast. Let's go!
Let's go!
The boys!
It's the BOYSCAST!
The lads!
It's the BOYSCAST!
The dudes!
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST!
The bros!
It's the BOYSCAST!
The homies!
It's the BOYSCAST!
The dudes!
Experience the BOYSCAST!
The boys! Cast!
Yeah, you know what it is. We're out here. Danny is all suntan and fat.
Oh, I got fucking burnt and fat.
My man's been eating. He said, yes, please. You want seconds? He said, and thirds and fourths. He was on a seafood diet, a seaweed diet, a sea dick
There was no
diet,
there was no seaweed.
a sea butthole diet.
There's no
A
vegetables.
sea Frenchman diet. You go, oh, I'm on a sea Frenchman diet. What does that mean? Ask the guy that's walking funny over there, Pierre. Ask Pierre. Ask Pierre. More like pee on him, and then he is gasping for air.
Yeah, I waterboarded him with my pee.
You put a maxi pad over top of his mouth, and then you pee on him while he gasps
And
for
he was
air.
like, no.
You called tabernacle, and then you said more like fucking tab on
suck my
cack.
cack.
I was trying not to go with suck my cack. I thought there was something better than suck my
There's
cack.
never anything better than that.
I got my glasses on because we're doing Is Andrew Tate Right this week. But before that,
Oh, should I get my glasses?
if you have glasses, I suggest you get your glasses. But your glasses are probably fucking stupid. Probably some fucking French glasses that look like you're the singer of REM. Little just dot. You've got two hearts on your eyes. That's what I'm predicting Danny's going to be doing. That's why Danny needs this soap. All right, ready for this commercial? Have you seen this? Okay, I got to show you this before we go.
Top G's.
This is yeah. We're doing the top G, and it's gonna be a fair synopsis. But more importantly, I saw this. I'll tell you what. Andrew Tate did say that he doesn't really like the guys like this. But okay, say watch this. This is the guy. This is a new sales technique. If this is not the guy, okay, I'll tell you what. If this is not the guy version of a girl telling you like, if you really care about feminism, you'd buy this earring set. You know what I mean? Buy this nipple clamp for
For feminism?
racial equality, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
This is what the guy version of that looks like. This is what they're selling you.
Guys, the stuff works. This is a guy that was going through divorce, became red pilled, and
Bitch.
decided to create his own business. And what he made was basically handmade soap fused with pheromones that actually attract women. The formula was made by a clinical psychologist that did his PhD in the effects of pheromones.
Yeah, he
Of course,
did.
if you look at the title,
That's the best, being a guy that does your PhD and getting pussy.
Seriously, that guy is probably fucking. People are keeping their distance from him on campus.
I got a PhD in Tang. That guy must have not been very popular at the grad lounge.
No, it's nutty professor shit. He goes, how do I figure out ways for women to like me? And he's fucking got his beakers and pheromones and different piss samples.
Yeah, you go into the grad lounge, everyone's smoking cigarettes. You know what I mean? They've got their jackets with the stupid elbow patch on. They just finished giving a lecture about how climate change leads to more racism. And then you come in, you go, just figured out the perfect fragrance to get your dick sucked.
It's a combination of different urines.
It's a combination of
Just
different years.
mixed.
But remember, we were talking about the girls that were trying their different techniques. I will say, listen, this guy's out here on. See, the real G shit, real G's like me and Danny, they're out there telling you, listen, here's a soap to get girls to try to fuck you more. How about a soap to get them to leave you alone? Or,
That exists too.
well, that's what it's called. No soap.
It's called no soap.
Well, that's the first problem with their.
It's called a frozen hunk of shit. You're just taking a shower and
Well, that's the first problem with their thing is that I don't take showers.
yeah.
So that's my first problem. Second problem with their thing, a girl once said that to me. She was trying to give me a compliment, and she was like, "You look like a guy that like doesn't shower," and it's kind of like hot to me. That's what she said.
That's not a compliment.
Van Dad was there.
Is that a compliment you want?
We were making fun of her for saying
Yeah, I was
that.
gonna say. You go what?
No, I was like, I don't
You
think.
think she was negging you?
No,
Was it her attempt at a neg?
She was just a dirty little fuck.
Yeah, she's like, you smell.
Yeah, I think she was like, you look like just like a rubbish band dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like a piece of trailer trash. The way that, Kid Rock, who was doing awesome stuff. If you saw Kid Rock making out with trailer trash Tammy
I
on
saw
the
that.
Jumbotron, the baddest dude in the world, dude. Kid Rock back in my good graces is huge. But the soap commercial, if you're a dude that actually gets... If you're a dude that's good with women, the last thing you need is whatever tiny, like you, it's just one of those things. It's the equivalent of a get rich scheme, but it's going to make you 50 cents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is someone who's like who's the person who made this? Is that the guy?
No, he combined with this university professor. Like he's sort of the bro and the other guy's the science. The bro science.
Yeah.
He's the bro and the other guy's the science.
Yeah.
He's like, yo,
It's like Tango and Cash.
You've got all that, university professor science shit, and I got the brains. You know what I'm saying? So we put that shit together. Bingo, bango.
I mean, you know what? Does he have like are people like giving him fucking props for like it working and stuff?
Dude, everyone's just sending him photos with them on the supermodel yacht with like 90 girls in Dubai.
And then do they wink at the soap? They're like,
yeah, I think that's what you do.
Thanks, man soap.
By the way, is there anything sadder than being like some fat slob that's like bad with girls and then buying getting pussy soap?
Getting pussy soap.
Like you're so bad with women, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That you're willing to try anything.
I mean,
and
you know what? In terms of trying stuff, it's not going to work. But in terms of low effort trying stuff, I guess it's something.
No, my issue isn't so much that.
I mean, it's not going to work.
Well, but I was saying that my point is, even if it did like have some, pheromonial effect that actually girls do like in some sense, if you're like at a point where that type of marginal difference matters to you, you're already dead in the water.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Of course.
It's the fat disgust. It's the girl.
It's like the vabbing thing where people are like vabbing
right.
works. It's like, look, I'll tell you, vabbing works. If I can put your vagina juices on me and attract men, then vabbing works. Otherwise, this ain't a real.
Let's say a French man, for example.
Otherwise, this ain't a real science experiment. I don't know what to tell you.
No, but it's really when you take an 800-pound girl and she shows up caked in mascara and stuff like that, you go, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Who are you trying to trick?
Men?
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, what guy is like, you know what, I would never. It's like, the lipstick, though, is done pretty good. You know what I mean? But those lips be looking aye. Not saying you wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying the lipstick wasn't the deciding factor. That's for sure. So I think if you're at a point in your life where you're just... you're so bad with women.
Do you think there's any sort of like accidental scenario where someone's just like fucking showers and they go, hey, can I use your shower? And then you forget to tell them about the soap, and then they use the fucking pussy soap, and then they're around and go, what is going on, ladies? Stay away from me. I don't know what's going on. Like a gay guy and he's walking around.
What is happening?
All these chicks won't leave me the fuck alone. I have no idea what's going on.
The montage of you just beating up chicks with a stick. What's it called? I think it's called it's by entrepreneurs in cars, by the way. It's called Maverick.
Maverick 3.
Maverick 3. Oh no, this one's good. Tactical soap.
Tactical soap.
Mission attraction.
That actually sounds creepier when you call it tactical soap. That's like a guy's fucking showing up on a first date and he's wearing all army fatigues on like a first Tinder date. He put on his fucking tactical soap.
A natural pheromone soap that enhances alpha status, masculinity, attractiveness, and charisma. How does the soap enhance your charisma?
Sounds like lies.
Like as soon as you take the soap, you're just walking around stiff arm and stuff. Out of my way, you little bitch.
So shaving with like a Bowie knife.
Yeah. So I gotta say that I'm not huge on the idea that this alpha soap's gonna fucking save your life.
Tactical soap.
Speaking of Danny and his Frenchmen, women have been up to wacky stuff this week.
Just this week?
This little segment of what women are up to.
Yeah, okay.
What were you
I was going to say one interesting, because I was in Europe and there was one interesting thing that I noticed. They're very anti-puppies in some places.
What do you mean? Like
there was a bunch of places in Italy where it's for men and women, it's illegal to have your shirt off walking around. Is that crazy?
Men too?
Men too. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
I
got so many tickets.
Store. Yeah, really?
No. Not in a store. Outside.
Danny got so many tickets, they kept coming up to him, ma'am, come on.
Yo, I don't know what this feminism bullshit you have over in America, but put this shirt back on.
No, French people are like the original
this is in Italy.
pussies.
No, this is in Italy, but Italy's same thing. But they're just like, for whatever reason, they're so stuck up that you can't even have fucking your shirt off walking around.
Is that because
you can't even have your shirt?
I look into this a piece of trash.
Kind of,
That's
but even
French
Italians.
mix.
That was actually a good Italian. But even like you can't have like a button-up shirt open walking around in the street. It's illegal.
You look at these.
Dude, my girl.
Fat men.
Dude, my girl was walking around and she had like a
Puppies out?
No, I don't know what the shirt is, but like from the back, it looked like a fucking.
She had the shirt with like a bikini of a different girl on it.
No, she had the apron, with the tits
apron
cut out,
shirt.
which I actually did see them selling there somewhere we were. The apron with the holes and tits underneath. But she was walking around and literally a police officer like kind of ran up to her. Because from the back, it looked like she was wearing a bikini top,
Sir,
but she
this
wasn't.
man abducted you.
Yeah, but she wasn't. And then she goes, "What?" And she turned around and goes, "Oh, sorry." But
Really?
she was gonna give him fucking shit. Yeah, they're very anti-puppies in Italy.
That's wild. Do you think they just
I know,
said that? Like you were walking around with your shirt on and they come up and they're like, sir, you got to put a shirt on. You're like, why? You're like, I don't know. It's illegal.
They're like,
Yeah. Sir, I don't know. It's like illegal or something.
it's illegal.
Have you ever heard of the law? Yeah. Where are you from? That's illegal here.
That's all illegal. Just get a fucking shirt on.
You fat Westerner. Take that shit back over to where you came from.
Yeah.
That's friggin'
very
stupid.
anti-puppy down there.
Weird.
Yeah.
French people stink, dude.
No, this is Italy.
Italy, Italian people, I wouldn't expect less of.
I know.
You know what
I was
Italian
very
people are
shocked.
like?
They don't give a shit about anything.
You know what happens? You go to the police officer's like, sir, you can't be topless, and you go, oh, I didn't bring a shirt, and he goes, we have them on file, and it's they give you like a standard issue, like fucking grease stained wife beater.
He goes, what is this? Is this marinara sauce? You go, yep.
Yeah, that's standard issue. It comes from the government. They have a factory of just greaseball Italians. They're rolling the meatballs over just like tons of fucking wife beaters. Comes with a chain. They're like,
It's like a stamp. It's like an assembly line. And you take one meatball, you dip it in a sauce, and you go, just like on the assembly line, just stamping one after another.
government issue fucking greasy meatballs shit.
Someone's dipping their fingers in olive oil. They're like, that's their thing on the line. Just all day, just
they're working for big grease wife beater.
grease, yeah, big olive oil.
Hey, put your chain on, sir. It's illegal. You're allowed to have your shirt off, but you got to have the standard issue gold chain if you want to. And then you go, sir, you're missing something. You hit your chick, and they go, all right, you're free to go.
Right.
Mamma mia! Well, what girls were up to when you were gone,
Yeah.
but also where you were in France is the Tour de France.
I didn't see the women's Tour de France, but we randomly
Bit of a lesbo.
we were
convention.
there on the last day of it, and it's a fucking big deal there.
Oh yeah, the women's one?
No, they don't give a shit about that.
When you see
No,
Brittany
no.
Griner, they actually made the trade for the Merchant of Death.
They actually went through with it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Trump went on record, said he didn't think that it was that great of a trade.
I thought they said that it was. Oh, okay. Was that today?
No, it was like a week ago.
No, they proposed it. I don't think it hasn't gone
it's
through.
happening.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I missed that. I saw the proposal that they wanted the Merchant of
The
Death
proposal
and
was
someone
like
else
3 months ago. They
No. They had in the last
week.
week. In the last week they said they proposed the Merchant of Death and someone else for Brittany Griner, which is like crazy.
Well, these girls basically what happened is on the female Tour de France, there's 100 girls.
More like the Tour de France. Anybody said that yet?
Yeah. More like the who can't ride a bike. Because they basically, what happened is they accidentally, I don't know if you saw the whole article, but
Yeah, they
basically,
just had a pile up.
well, what happened was they accidentally put like a bunch of shopping centers beside the track. So
They were all rubbernecking, and then they go, what? The what? Sales?
they had a purse sale that it was kind of like right beside the track, right? So all the girls were rubbernecking at the purse sale, 50% off Versace purses. So that's what happened, and then the first girl fell, and the other girl fell, and then they were trying to get up because they were trying to get up so they can go run over to the shopping mall and get the purse and get back on the trail.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what happened. But then they got down there and they started scissoring, and they sort of liked it.
Yeah,
because they're all
Yeah, scissoring's big in
because
France.
every single female athlete's a lesbo.
Pretty much.
So that's
This is
what
nothing
happened.
as bad as the have you ever seen the classic WNBA All-Star clip?
What happened? They saw a cute guy in the stands and then fucking
No, they're actually all gay. But no, this was way more embarrassing than this. Is the WNBA because this is like, pileups happen in bicycling just because.
They happen for you with friends with a bunch of guys
But
at
in
the
the-
monkeypox convention.
Did you ever see the WNBA All-Star game where they did the tip and then they literally went
Just
the wrong
tip
way?
at the monkeypox convention.
No, they went the wrong way, and they're like, it was chaos. It was the tip-off of the
remember
WNBA
that
All-Star
video.
game, and then they win the tip, and then they go to the wrong end, and then they're like,
Incredible.
it's literally like the Benny Hill. It's like, and they're like, what the fuck?
Wasn't there one where the girls scored on the wrong basket too?
Yeah, that's what it was, the
Okay.
WNBA All-Star game. You go, that's embarrassing.
That's fun stuff.
Good shit.
Yeah, they saw a cute guy and they had a big of a pile up. So, a second part of what wacky shit girls are up to. What do you think of that?
It's pretty wacky.
So this one might be an accidentally for boys, which I think I lost that sound bite. So people always ask where it is, and
If you're listening, someone messaged me saying they made it. Have them send it in.
I think it was same guy made the intro. But what's happening is I am also we're getting a live streaming set up, and we're also gonna get a soundboard and a bunch of other stuff coming in. So this BOYSCAST is expanding.
I can't wait for that.
Oh, buddy, we are spending big pimpin' spending cheese that we don't have that I've
Big
lost on the
pimpin'.
stock market. So if everyone wants to subscribe to the Patreon, it's time to get rich. We're out here. Me and Danny are trying to become zillionaires. We got our Pheromone Soap, and I'm about to get rich. We're expanding always. Well, girls decided that in order to stick it to men, to stick it to the
I hate
patriarchy. Well, that's why they're getting it stuck to, you know what I mean? While you also hate men, but you also like sticking it to them, if you know what I mean, on his little France trip.
Yeah. I stuck it to them.
So what happened was a bunch of girls did a climb of a big mountain, and they wore sinks on their back. This is so crazy, dude. Dude, girls are rule.
Yeah, they're amazing. Just to prove some point.
Yeah, so basically a bunch of girls, you have to look at this. There's an article in Metro if you want to see it. So women climb up this, I think it's called scaffold pike, and they basically strapped kitchen sinks to their back to say that, you know, girls shouldn't have to be carrying all the household duties.
Yeah.
Which I think they should have gone farther. I would like to see like a spatula just duct taped to one of the girls' heads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe a girl climbs
like-
the Everglades wearing oven mitts, something
Yeah, maybe like
that.
one of those splash guards as their hats.
Just constantly like a beer funnel, but it has Drano in it. So they're just constantly drinking Drano to show that this is what the world does to us. It's constantly watering down our good ideas, are constantly watering down our entrepreneurial ideas and our talent with Drano.
I think they left them on the top of the like kind of planting the flag of women.
I think,
But like not realizing it was sending the wrong message. You go, this is our flag, the sink. We climbed this mountain and we're leaving our sink on the top of the mountain.
women have been here. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we could tell because you left the goddamn sink up here with dirty dishes in it.
That's their equivalent of spiking a football. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
get to the top of the mountain and spike the sponge.
My favorite
Spike
thing
the
was
dishcloth.
they climbed up but they had a team alongside. You see this? It goes alongside of them. They had a team bringing water and supplies
Because it was hard for them to reach it with the dish, the fucking
with the
sink on their back.
It would have been more impressive if you could do the sink and your water.
That's
The
so. I
bottle of
love
water
all that
required.
stuff when people, you know what I mean. You kind of do a whole thing like that, but it was fake because other people were like. It's a kind of like the shows where they go naked in the wild or whatever, but you go. Okay,
Yeah, there's a whole crew.
camera-
Yeah, like,
it's
go
there's a
turn the
camera, crew
camera
here, you know what
and,
I mean? But I guess there's a few of the shows where they just put them on a GoPro, but 99 because they don't want someone to die on the show because that would be probably pretty bad for press, right?
Not great for press.
And not great for getting sued.
Yeah.
But
Good for ratings though. Someone dies.
if someone dies is good for rating. So they said this women did just this, with the sink serving as a metaphorical challenge to gender inequality and stereotypes. When you saw that, when you saw the girls struggling up that mountain with the sink, what did you think to yourself like, shit, I got to do the dishes?
No, I told my girlfriend, I go, look, we're done.
I can't handle you people anymore.
That's it. I'm sorry.
I'm putting my fucking anti-pheromone soap
well, I
on.
just felt so bad
Pheromone
for being a
removal
man. I
soap.
go, you deserve to be with a woman.
Yeah, that's true.
That's I'm sorry that you're with a man. That's unfair to you.
Sorry that you have to be with someone that societally does everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's-
Oh, some teachers did it, and a dental nurse. They hiked up the 978 meters to the summit in just 6 hours. The guys do it in 3. all to raise money for domestic abuse. Yeah, that's a little different.
Do you think there's guys who do it, like they'll do like the fucking, they're like, yeah, a bunch of Italian guys, and we go, hey, we hiked up to the top of the mountain with granite on our back. We had the granite countertops. They took the sinks. We took the countertops.
so funny. Everyone does that. Yeah,
They do their
the
thing.
Italians do it with like landscaping rocks.
Yeah, just like whatever their thing is. Those Italians, let me tell you, they know how to build shit.
Yeah, Mexican people, like Mexican women or whatever dudes, like hike to the top with a wheelbarrow full of sod. Shit.
Everybody's got their thing.
Just a baby taped to their, like, you know, every orifice, like a baby on their arm, baby on their leg. You know, you have two babies taped to your legs like ankle weights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of the abortion, to fight abortion rights.
Maybe some aborted babies.
2 aborted babies just duct taped to your ankles.
Yeah.
To fight abortion rights. All right, longoloids. I gotta. That you hear? That's my new thing.
Longoloids, yeah.
What do you think of longoloids?
I like longoloids.
What could your people be called? I would say
Polish cocks.
Nah, that's not good. Longoloids is insanely great. I'm dying.
Longoloids is good because the furrowed. I think have all furrowed brows. Like, could you get like maybe some sort of like, because you want to make them look like they're like cavemen, basically somehow.
Why is that?
Because isn't that like the Mongoloid?
No,
things?
we're on. No. Mongoloids like you're retarded.
Yeah, isn't that what that is a play on?
I thought you were trying to say Mongolians. Why do Mongoloids have furrowed brows?
Aren't they? Isn't that the whole thing that they're kind of like?
You're saying Mongolians? Our thing has nothing to do with Mongolians.
Who said anything about Mongolians?
Feels like you're talking
Did you
about
say they're Longolians or Longoloids?
Well, what are you talking about? Furrowed
I'm talking
brow?
about Mongoloids.
Say that to their face. Look in the camera and say it to the Longoloids.
Coming for you, you fucking Longoloids.
Tell the Longoloids to their face that they got a furrowed ass
They wouldn't
brow.
understand what I'm saying with their fucking furrowed brow and their massive craniums.
The fucking I guess yours could be like the dansexuals.
I'm just gonna be transsexuals.
Dansexuals is all right, but
Dansexuals.
because of our longoloid issues, and you know, I suffer from a condition known as loopiness,
Yeah.
and people know that about me.
I suffer from lupus.
I suffer
I
from
know.
lupus, and people know that about me. And I'm formally launching a campaign that Lyft, as a company, because one of the big things that they don't like is I forget to wear my mask. One of the things that they don't like is that sometimes I open the door at the wrong side. So I'm officially an Uberman, and I'm officially denouncing them, and I'm declaring war on the company Lyft. You're a crappy company. Mm-hmm. The CEO of Lyft, you're a copycat company. First of all, you just stole someone else's idea.
Have you watched the Uber show? I was
Everything
watching
that
it on the
Uber does,
plane.
you just steal it after. So you're garbage. You're trash. You're garbage. You're retard phobic.
Yeah.
On top of that,
Yeah.
you're loopy phobic. So I have a mental condition where I'm not able to remember to fucking look
Wear a
out
mask.
the window. I can't remember to wear a mask. I have a condition.
Yeah.
I can't remember every time to make sure some fucking dorky ass biker is not in the vicinity. Lyft. I can't remember that every time because I have a condition called loopiness.
This clip is
Declaring war.
This clip's
I
gonna-
will be getting my lawyers involved.
This clip's gonna age very poorly when you also get banned from Uber. Ryan's like, I'm a taxi man, goddammit.
Dude, if Uber
Ryan's
wants
like, I'm
smoke,
a city bike man.
If Uber wants smoke, they can have it. I got the guns out. If Uber wants a part of this, I'm here. I'm loopy and queer. I recommend against it.
Yeah, they're discriminating.
I would highly recommend against it.
Can we join in Airbnb kind of thing too? Because I got beef with them.
Yeah, but there's no replacement for Airbnb. So now we
There is. It's Verbo, and it's like the worst fucking shit.
No, I'll tell you what. We're Motel 8 guys now.
I am a Motel 8 guy now.
Motel 8's not going to show up on your credit card.
They
You paying fucking cash.
They don't take credit card.
You paying cash by the hour.
Yeah.
I don't have to meet up with some dork. I'll tell you what, I don't actually like Airbnb when I have to, sometimes you'll have an Airbnb, the person's popping in right and left.
I know.
What is this?
I don't know.
I stayed in an Airbnb once on tour in Vancouver. Supposed to be separate. It's a separate room to the guy. The guy, he keeps coming up to me being like, hey, you want a beer? He's trying to party
Oh,
with
he's trying
me.
to party. He's trying to
Yeah,
rage
which I
you.
guess if you're chilling, but I'm like, no, I have real friends.
Did he invoice you for that at the end of the trip? Was there a cleaning fee?
No.
Bro fee?
This was a lonely man that wanted people to stay at his place.
Yeah.
so that he could have a friend to hang out with.
I mean, good strategy.
Oh,
if
that
you're
should
a
be
lonely man.
illegal.
Yeah. I mean, that should be in the reviews. That should definitely be in the reviews. Being
Yeah,
like,
you
yeah,
can
this
stay
guy
here.
kept fucking coming over and wanted to hang.
This guy wants to fucking hang
Kept
out
showing
all
me
day.
his fucking Star Wars figurine collection.
No, he's trying to. He did. He trying to show me stuff and give me like a tour of his house and stuff like that.
He comes in, he goes, "Hey Ryan, you want to have a catch?" No, I don't want to have a catch.
I don't want to play catch. I'm here for like comedy for a day. I don't want to play catch. So Airbnb, you're on the fucking shit list.
Yeah, for banning me
Lyft.
for being.
You're on the shit list. TikTok, you're on real thin ice.
You got your TikTok back though.
I got it back temporarily, and then I got a video deleted immediately, and then now I have a permanent warning on my page.
Oh,
So, we're watching people.
not a big fan of this CCP.
No, we're watching people. The world is CCP. That's all that happens.
Jokers.
The only thing that's good in this world is that Indian Forest Gump, I saw the preview
That
for.
holy shit.
It's the only thing that I've been happy about.
That was really. You sent that to me and I watched.
Is that not the best thing you ever seen?
That's
Go
amazing.
look up Indian Forest Gump on YouTube. It's incredible. They have a Punjabi Lieutenant Dan. It's Lieutenant Muhammad. It's the best thing I've ever seen. It's 15 years later.
Yeah, more 2030 or
30 years later, they're remaking Forrest Gump, and his name's like, Darshween or something.
Yeah. The crazy thing is normally they'll just take the old one and then just overdub it, which they've probably been doing in India so everybody's like, yeah, we've watched Forrest Gump. It's not like we don't like nobody in India is like Forrest Gump, never heard of it. Yeah. They're just like, yeah, we know Forrest Gump. We all know everybody knows Forrest Gump.
For the Indian Forest Gump is the best thing I've seen in years.
was really
Watched
good.
it 3 times. Do yourself a favor.
It's funny because it's modern, like it's not like because Forrest Gump is like he's in the 60s, but this is now. But then they still give him the fucking 60s leg braces.
Yeah.
Even though it's supposed to be like
That's even
2006.
You're right. Yeah.
But he's still it's 2006 or something. But he still has the. But then and they give him really all the stuff like
It's
the
the whole
ping
thing,
pong,
ping pong.
the army.
Well, it's the exact same movie, but Indian.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
The thing I didn't get is because he's like a Sikh, and
I wanna
then
see
at
like
one point
a-
he has a turban, but then at one point he doesn't.
Yeah, he can't decide.
I thought you have to. Yeah, I thought you can't cut your hair.
Well, he couldn't decide. Yeah.
Stuff.
Buddy, that was sick.
Yeah, it was great.
Fellas, you know we got to tell you about one of our favorite products, Fume. Canadian company.
Love it.
And I'm all about it. If you don't know what it is, if you're trying to, potentially quit smoking, it is a non-nicotine inhaler. And it's super fun. They're well made and they're cool to dick around with. They got a bunch of cool flavors. I use it. The only thing I've ever probably been addicted to in my life where I got out of control with vaping, which I have completely stopped,
Cold
a couple
turkey.
months ago. Yeah, I got out of the game, but I'll do the fumes.
Yeah, fumes are
do
great.
the gums every now and then, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The bottom line, I've even every now and then I'll do pouches or whatever, but mainly the fume I actually, when I'm editing, I kick around with it. So I honestly think people would like it. They're super cool. If you're a current smoker, if you're a past smoker and you just want to fucking something cool, you want to get on Fume. Now, a couple things I'll tell you about Fume. This is a natural inhaler designed for better, safer, natural way to quit cigarettes. It's a no smoke, no vape, no nicotine replacement to the mouth to hand habit of smoking. Replace the habit, which is people think they're more addicted than they are. And a lot of it is that you just want to chew on something or you just want to put something in your mouth and inhale something. And I actually think this was probably one of the best ones that's ever done it. And the company's taken off. They've got tons of 5-star reviews. And it comes in a cool package. I've been telling everyone about it. If you want to use to fly it, you can do it in an airport, which is a huge thing for lots of people. So whether you're an ex-smoker or a smoker currently, Fume's the perfect tool. BreatheFume.com/BoysCast. Use the promo code BoysCast. Save 10% on your entire order. That's 10% off your entire order when you head to BreatheFume.com/BoysCast. Promo code BoysCast and quit naturally and save 10%. So, I did a video about Top G Andrew Tate.
Yep.
And kind of, doing pretty good on the internet. And I was like, Danny's been gone, but for the last 2 weeks, this guy took over the world, right?
I've been following him. I mean, has it really picked up in the last 2 weeks specifically?
Yes.
Like specifically?
Yes,
I mean, I thought
that
it
is
was. I thought it was really popping off even before then.
No, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been out there.
So, and I have a lot of thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And the first one, I'm going to say, I think that there's, I'm going to say some good things and some bad things or whatever, but this is my honest analysis after listening to his message. I think a lot of his message, if you actually boil it down to, and if you don't know who this guy is, he's kind of...
I mean, if you don't know who this guy is, what are you fucking doing?
Well, every 6 months, girls find a new Trump, right? And he's that right now. And he's sort of like a mix of Dan Bilzerian and, like a kind of like a Trump or Alex Jones or something like that, right?
Yeah, he's a very polarizing, out there kind of guy. But you don't really, the one thing I will say, you don't really see, he's not showing off the chicks. He shows off the cars, but the chicks are like, he's very much like bitches ain't shit. Cause like he's not like, here's me with 20 chicks.
Well, I will say like there's two parts. One is like, I think a lot of times people need the right message at the right time, right? So a lot of people do need to be shaken up by something. And I've said that, like, there's so many people that I just feel like I need to shake up. So a lot of the shit that he's saying, I'm like, you'll see points that he makes. He just makes them in a different way. But I'm like, yeah, like I've said a lot of this stuff on this podcast.
Yeah.
I've been saying this stuff in real life. Like a lot of this shit that guys
I mean,
talk
I
about.
remember
how much stuff, just the amount of stuff that girls don't know about what guys actually want, and they can pretend. Like the amount of times, no shit, you don't want a girl that's a hoe.
Yeah.
Like no shit. Like, you know what I mean? No shit. Like obviously in an ideal scenario, you like smash a ton of girls and have a chick. Like you're right. So, and that is like the Hollywood stuff. Mm-hmm. And the idea of like, if you get rich enough, you can get, but again, none of it's free. Sometimes you have enough capital, and that's all social capital. That might be capital of how much, more valuable you are than the girl. How do you want to use it? Some guys might want to use it to tell the girl to not bug them. If you can use it on like, I'm going to be banging lots of other girls, that's not free.
No.
So it's like,
I use the capital for an electric collar with a remote.
So I think there is something to be like that. A lot of young people need the message of someone being like, everything you're listening to, they're lying to you. Like, because how many times, even in like entertainment and anything, people will be telling you like how women work and how relationships work. And you're kind of like, what? This doesn't make sense. Even how money works, like what you're supposed to do for a living, how you're supposed to go to school. And it takes someone to be like, all that's not true, but most people don't know that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it feels like you're being gaslit by the world a lot of times, right? And I do appreciate people that are taking that message away from politics, what it actually is. Like so much of this shit that's being looked at as like a right-wing, left-wing thing just isn't. It's being forced to be called a right-wing, left-wing thing.
For sure. I mean, there's definitely just rules of nature and things like that. That'll just be like, if people don't like the way things are, then they'll just be like, oh, that's like a right-wing thing. And you're like, no, you just don't like it.
No, you don't like it. Or you're calling a masculine thing a right-wing thing.
Yeah.
And you've coupled like being anything that's like ultra masculine as like a right-wing thing, right? So it's important for have someone in your life that's like, all this shit's bullshit, and like start from there. Like I think that even, I've had people in my life that were that, and that right message at the right time. I've had versions of this that I needed to kind of like understand, like the right person that you even, just one other person that you kind of see the world the same way, and you kind of notice, you're like, okay, now that I know that's bullshit, I can move forward from there.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's also important to move forward from there, which is why this message is very, like, more of a probably message that connects a lot more with a 20-year-old.
Yeah, and sometimes you just need to be hearing it a lot. You need to be hearing this message from, sometimes you hear it once and you go like, okay, I agree with that, but I can't go against the grain that much. But you start hearing, you go like, oh, I just saw 50,000 people say this thing. I go, okay, I feel comfortable. Like
once you understand the options, then you can understand the cost benefits. You know what I mean? Like so much of it is like, how much are you willing to live an alternative life? How much can you feel like you're different from everyone? How much can you not be outside the box? How much can you have people hate you? How much can you have a chick that like, you're dealing with her bullshit? You know what I mean? Like there's different types of chicks, like chicks that, kind of will take a lot of your shit. Often are high maintenance in other ways.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've had both. Think about like mobster's wife, like the average girl like that. Yeah, she'll let him do what he wants. She's not gonna talk to him about that shit. He still runs shit, but she's gonna nag the fuck out of him.
Yeah, she's gonna give him the side eye.
Right.
At home.
So there's different types of girls,
of course,
that have the different types of stuff, right? But with men's stuff, like, here's a perfect example. If you think of like the stuff girls care about, right? Then it becomes the stuff mainstream cares about. Then it gets pitched to you like everyone cares about this. Do you know a single successful guy, like one successful guy in your life that's like killing it? Like, killing it, pretty cool guy, got his shit together, decent with girls, that gave a fuck about Trump. Like that like politics like stressed him out. Other than kind of like, well, I can think of a million girls like that.
Oh, for sure.
COVID. Did any of your friends that were like, did any winners in your life really think like, like, you know what I mean?
Not making it their identity. Yeah, but girls are just more likely to be like that.
Exactly.
For sure.
But that's not what's being pitched to people. So my point is, if you think about it, like if you just said this was a society where guys and girls were different, right? Like they lived in different things, there would be not a single thing that was like, let's say you just something was just men, 200 men.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a single thing of 200 men that ever like worrying about like everyone's overly safe about COVID or like, oh, we let's say, we're talking about pronouns and all this stuff. Like there never, that only exists because of like girls.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think under knowing that, like, what you do with that information is up to like how you want to live your life. But knowing that, because I think a lot of people see a guy like that and they're like, I don't want to live like that. And it's exhausting. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't want that.
People want pretty stress-free lives.
Some people do, yeah.
They want the path of least resistance. It's like the happy wife, happy life. You just want to be like, just fucking leave me alone.
There is the points like, when you're talking about like, just being the guy that's like, I'll just go along with the flow. Like your life does get progressively worse and worse if you don't fucking like, you don't set some boundaries with how your life's going to operate with chicks.
Or you're just fine with that. It's trade-offs. You're just making these trade-offs where you go, possibly, I don't want to fight with my wife.
I think that a lot of men are depressed and a lot of men are in scenarios that they don't like.
Of course.
Right? A lot of men fucking work jobs they don't want. They don't like the fucking dynamic with their girl. They don't really know how to get out of it. Guys don't leave girls as much because they have a fucking responsibility for her feeling. Dudes have like a sense of duty with the girl where they're like,
plus if you leave, she's taking all your shit. So
more importantly, you got the government like straight up in a lot of scenarios being like, yo, if you leave, you have half your money right now.
Sounds like we got to move to Romania. My grandmother's from Romania, actually.
Really?
Top G.
Top G. Yeah, your grandma's the top G.
She's from, I think, where fucking he lives.
Dude, I was having that conversation with a chick that she was like generally worried about monkeypox.
Yeah.
Like,
is she a homosexual man?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And it was maybe the maddest I've been in a while, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, it was like after everything that happened, this is a disease. Like, it's like, yeah, if you're a gay guy, you should get people like, this is a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But like for a like straight woman in a relationship to be like stressed out about this, it was like after everything you've witnessed for the last 3 years, after the amount of times like people telling you things that you're listening to are wrong.
Straight lies.
To get right back in line, like the fucking, you know what I mean?
But the slaughter. It's the pacifier. They just go, here you go, suck on that, and just dude. I've actually.
So understand, like being around those people's fucking bad for you.
I freaked the shit out of my girlfriend about monkeypox because I was fucking on last night on the street.
She thought your dick was a monkeypox.
She goes, is that a single monkeypox boil? On top of 2 other monkeypox boils? I go, that's just mean. No, because they released the New York City released something being like, because in New York City, like nobody has laundry, right? Like everybody goes to laundromats. Like some people have laundry, but tons of people in the city go to laundromats. And the city released something being like, yo, if you have monkeypox, you got to take all these precautions because it can pass along in laundromats. Or whatever. If you don't, like, for example, if you go use like a cold water thing with someone with monkeypox, and then you go use yours and you don't throw in the dryer.
That's unlikely, though.
Super unlikely. But I was just talking about it where like, and then my girlfriend's like, you can't do laundry anymore. Yeah. Like out of laundry. She's like, no more laundry.
Yo, can you imagine the fucking
freaking out.
Dude, if you had a dude friend that was like that, everyone would be like, oh yeah, he's like a pussy.
Yeah.
Like he's this like germaphobe weirdo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Whereas chicks, every guy's like, yeah, it's my chick. Like, so I think it is. When it's all, it's important to like see that.
Yeah, I mean, girls are super vain too, and they're just like the idea of having a bunch of pox on their face.
They don't like
dude
that
would be like, yeah, I got the pox.
Right, but the rule holds up with everything.
Yeah, of course.
Here, and it's like also just like little things, which I think when me and you, I think that we're very different, but like I think that around when I met you, me and you kind of started like maybe you even before me, but like. we were both sort of thinking about like money and life like the same way in terms of like your time's the valuable resource. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you not just like nothing that everyone like does normally. I just accept that as true. Like, it's like, well, you should do this. I'm always like, well, that doesn't really, you know, it doesn't.
Yeah, of
why?
course, yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there being like, yo, you don't have to do that. You know
No.
what I mean?
No,
As
you
far
don't
as
have to
other
do that.
things, like, but if you take James Altucher said this, but so it's a
New
good
York is
point.
dead.
He had a good point. He goes, okay, think about recycling. How much girls are like into recycling, right? Like more than guys. Like, and it's because of the idea of like, you know, let's help the environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, you go, if you really are someone that like is into the environment, if you take like, you know, 20 less car rides, like if you walk 20 times instead of taking a car ride, that's how much, that's like the same environmental impact as like not recycling for 2 years.
Probably.
Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
Something insane, probably.
So I
yeah.
think that's why I have all these, you know, it's equivalent of when you're trying to make money and you're talking about something that makes a penny. It's like, shut up. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, just,
These are these tiny incremental
you have all this
things.
bullshit in your head that means nothing. You know what I mean?
Also, in a lot of cities, you don't really need to recycle because that's
They
why
go to the same place.
Well, not that it goes to the same place. It's like the whole thing when tons of cities where they give you, you know, 5 cents for the can people. It's like they are the recycling. They are they're
that's
the
true,
next
too.
layer
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
recycling. Like you're literally by not recycling, you're supporting them.
And exactly. And then they can buy more money to get, you know, they can buy more, they get more money so they can get clothes to get another girl and then impregnate another girl and make a second recycling family.
Yeah. I mean, but there are recycling. I mean,
So
that's
they can populate
so a lot of
with
like homeless
recyclers.
people make money is by people not recycling.
So there's even that too, but it's like having those conversations like,
every time you don't recycle, you're literally giving a nickel to a homeless person.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think and you know what, you said it good that, but I think the way that it is, it's like never internalize bullshit as part of your identity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that, like, no, I'm a person that does this. And it's like, but it doesn't make sense. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, these are just weak identity people.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's, you know, a lot of people, everyone's some version of that. Like I'm that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm all of the bad things sometimes. I think that at this point in my life, hopefully I'm, you know, and one of the reasons why I do good at shit is like, hopefully I've, you know, kind of, but it's always a, you know, then you get bad at it again and you realize you're like, fuck, I'm like, I need to read, like I'm doing all this stupid shit. Like it's so constant, you know what I mean? It's never just ends.
Yeah.
So I think some of these people, the way that you think of chicks, it's like, well, this is how it happens and you do this. And it's like, well, you don't,
It doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people that shock young people that are set in like stupid ways and sometimes regardless of who it is, you know, and it's obviously going to piss off girls because girls don't like a message of self-improvement to guys. You know what I mean?
No.
But I was thinking...
Literally, women like the opposite. They go, you just get really fat and sloppy.
I'll tell you a good point, though. If you have a girl that's like, hey, you know, you're listening to, you know, girls that they didn't like Jordan, people listening to Jordan Peterson or whatever, right? They're like, oh, it's giving you guys bad ideas and stuff like that. It was like, I mean, girls don't understand. It's like, I mean, it's more offensive if this is your chick or whatever. It's more offensive to me that you're listening to How to Be a Slut podcasts
Yeah.
than fucking it should be the Get Your Life Together podcast, but also fuck bitches.
Yeah. You think TikTok is gonna try and like do something to fuck with Andrew Tate because he kind of like cracked their thing?
Well, it's hard to. He's so much money, right? It's the same as Trump. Like, you can kick him off.
Well, I'm
things,
saying
but-
like, well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, will they straight up like put some sort of facial recognition thing in there where they're just like his face is just kind of banned from there?
Yeah.
He really did like break their system.
He broke their system.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing to think
Like
about guys like
he
that.
gamed it to the max.
Yeah. If you're like a winner, I think the best way is to be like, all these people, you know, for the most part, guys like Jordan Peterson, guys like him, anyone that's like giving you advice, maybe us when we do. A lot of it, some of it's your like original theories, but most of it is repurposed stuff like insights that you've like internalized and found to be true.
Of course.
That are like age old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
So a lot
course.
of the stuff he says, you go, yeah, lots of people have said that. It's like, but you have a kind of, you've internalized it into a coherent philosophy that, and, you know, sell it a certain way, right?
Yeah.
I think Rick Rubin was talking about jokes and he goes, he was like, or he was talking about art and he was like, you know, the best artists have the best antenna for what's the right thing at the right time. And it was like, a lot of times it wasn't even your idea as much as it needed to be made, and you were the one that saw that and made it.
Yeah, and you took all the stuff that you had. I mean, yeah, I agree. There's not really real, true, like, originality. You know, you're usually taking all these little bits and pieces and
Right.
cobbling it together. I watched this fucking on the plane. I watched this Hulu documentary about the Von Dutch. Remember that? The hats? Pretty crazy documentary about the guy. And that was his thing. The original Von Dutch, he was like this guy who did hot rods. And he's like, he was like, everybody steal my shit. Like, there's no such thing as originality.
Okay.
And then they stole his shit. And it was like this, it's just crazy fuck. It's like 3 hours. 3 parts, and there's all these like murders and all these people getting
The
fucked.
Von Dutch guy?
No, the Von Dutch guy was like in the 60s, and then this guy started.
I thought Ashton Kutcher started it.
No, he's just no, dude. It's really crazy story. And then so this guy who used to be this like karate guy, like took
Yeah.
it over from he fucked over this other guy, and then there's like it's a whole crazy story or whatever. And then like becomes like they're doing like 400 million. They go from like no sales to like 400 million because everybody starts wearing it.
Yeah.
Because this basketball.
It's like a
players-
tipping point situation. where it
kind of,
just
and then
came
it just
off.
fucking blows up, and then the whole thing implodes because this the original guy who started making the Von Dutch patches at some like fucking trade show, who was like he just came up with the patches, but he didn't come up with like the business or anything, and then he felt so fucked over that he released this letter from Von Dutch, the original Von Dutch guy, from his deathbed that was basically like saying like black people and Jews are taking over the world and all this stuff, but he's like
Von Dutch!
dropping N-bombs and literally just
Come
like
on!
torch the whole company, like just like fucking incinerates the whole thing.
I wonder if it was a
Crazy
fake
story.
or not.
I think it was real, but he knew about it, but he just was like, he held it back because he just was like, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a really good documentary.
Well, speaking of that point, that's another thing that I was thinking is that because if you think about the like that well, I'll just say the thing first before I get off track, but that this message, if you look at everyone that's saying it successfully, it has to come from a not white guy. Because you know what I mean? White guys are just too easy to like the media and people's brains are too easy to tune out, but they've also made race so important that it's made. But you're going to watch a lot of guys that kind of pop up and they're not going to be white, like in this realm, right?
Yeah.
But if you think about the idea that I think that one thing that kind of bothers me about like conservatives over the last little bit, it's like it's a lot of people that kind of were, this stuff's nonsense, and then just like kind of got into listening to, that they just started like making a list of the things that they think they align with that, and they're like, this one's better. I mean, you ever hear people on our stuff being like, all both sides bad. It's like it's not so much that you're just like both sides bad or one side's better than the other. It's like, what are you trying to do and how are they helping? It's like, what, you're going to spend your whole life fucking campaigning for some guy? So what? Like, imagine you thought that liberal stuff's, your whole thing, what did conservatives really do to help you in the last 5 years? Like, they got rid of abortions, I guess, and they, they helped to kind of get rid of abortions, and they like are fighting a lot of stuff about like curriculums in school.
Yeah.
So if you're like a mother, or maybe kind of like a dad that your family's your whole thing, good. But if you're like a dude that's trying to accomplish, like, they're not helping you.
No, they're not helping you at all. No, they're not. Yeah.
What-
You need to tune that shit. I mean, so many of my
How
friends
does
who
that
are
help you?
successful have no idea about any of the shit we're talking about.
What?
So many of my friends who are successful don't know any of this shit. They don't know what's going on with like CRT and stuff. They're
I
just
know
like,
a lot of
I just do-
successful people that kind of pay
I'm
attention,
saying
but it
they
doesn't
do,
bother
but I'm
them.
I'm
Doesn't
saying
affect
it's like
them
you
one
don't
way or the
need
other.
to know about this stuff to like if you have a very like singular drive and you're trying to build a business or something, for
Yeah.
example. You're like what the fuck do I care about?
You need to
this
make
shit?
yourself bulletproof, man, and your
Yeah.
brain too. If you end up in a scenario where your brain is so easily like accessible to like the world events, like then yeah, you're fucking useless.
Yeah.
You go, some bill passed and it's ruining your day, or more importantly, ruining the way your like life operates. Like, you've left yourself too vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, think about an even worse scenario. We were kind of talking about it, but like, imagine you live in a country and then like not America, and then a bill passes in America, and now that ruined your life.
You're vulnerable.
You're just like it doesn't even affect you, and you're like allowing that to fucking torpedo your.
No,
shit.
you're yeah. And if you live like that, go ahead. It's not no one that like I remember they were doing like Silicon Valley, I don't know who it was, if it was not a Tony Robbins, but whatever. They're doing this conference, and it was kind of like early 2015, and the guy stood up and he was like, well, what do I do about the fact that I'm like or maybe like a black woman in this industry and it's racist? And he goes, and the guy just said, he was like, listen, I'm not saying that you don't have any struggles or anything, but he goes, no one that when we meet again in 2 years and the people that are at the top 1%, none of them are going to talk about that. None of them think like that.
Yeah.
He goes, no one that's winning thinks like that. I'm not saying that people don't. I bet you a lot of the people that, like the Will Smiths of the world, I bet you like a guy like that or The Rock might come out and like say he thinks like that, but he doesn't actually.
No, he doesn't actually. No,
You know what I mean? He might pretend he thinks like that to get things, but he don't actually think like that.
No,
where
these are low level
sees himself
games.
some victim.
These are very
Oh, good way to put it.
Yeah, these are very low level games. These are not high level games.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
They're all, and that's the same thing we're talking about with the money. It's like don't waste your time on fucking low level games. Put a value on a game, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very low level games.
It is a low level game. So that's a good description of it. So I mean, I think that a lot of people, however, they end up in a scenario where it kind of makes them think about things a little differently. And then sometimes you go through a phase where it makes you too much of that. You know what I mean? And then you kind of...
Yeah, you got to course correct. I mean,
and you course correct.
I mean, how many times have we saw someone gets like some idea with something and then that's their whole identity like 6 months later. And then 6 months after that, they're just like lost because that's not the good identity to have anymore.
And sometimes it's just a psychopath, but sometimes it's the type of person that's like... sometimes that type of person is the type of person that is like young and hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're like, I'm going to do this and you're all in and, you go, you do that a few times and you kind of have more boundaries on what you get sucked into or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I think that that the negatives of like him specifically, his life, or you go, first of all, it works better in Romania because like those girls are way more sheltered from what's around them. So it's like if you're in obviously anything where you're like, my woman doesn't do this, my woman doesn't do this, obviously works better in a place where the girls aren't, didn't go to college in fucking North America or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's culturally obviously different there.
Yeah, and then also, if you have like a bunch of girls, I think a lot of guys like the idea of like, I have like kind of like two main chicks, and they're like, no matter how you slice it, that shit takes time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you know what? Again, he obviously approaches that stuff with like from the, he's not dicking around because a lot of people will like get a girlfriend and then try and be like, hey, what about this?
Yeah.
And then she's like, wait, what do you mean? What about, like, he starts from the get go. He goes, this is the deal.
For sure.
Right. Which is obviously way easier. Like
but that depends on your personality. Like, do you care about people's emotions? Like, one of the reasons I keep my circles small is because I do really care about people's emotions. Like, if I have a girl like that's in my life, like it's impossible for me to not care if she's like upset. You know what I mean?
It's like literally sociopathic or something.
But the more you are of that, the easier it is to like manage 10 girls. Like, you know what I mean?
Of course.
If you are someone that's like very, and you kind of, where that's something I realized about myself, it's way more for me about how to like manage the amount of people whose like emotions can infect me, more so than like trying to change that about me that I just don't care about, like the way that people are affected,
Yeah. I mean, that's not a strategy to be like, I just can't give a shit about anybody.
Some people don't probably that much.
For sure they don't. Yeah.
And it sometimes makes you a better boss. Like it can be a better, it can be a positive and a negative, It makes you probably less likable on a person basis. It may not make you worse at other things. I think it makes you better at a comedian when you're in tune with emotions, but I think it makes you, it's also, leaves you fucking vulnerable. You got all this shit to worry about and it adds to it, right?
Yeah.
And then also the most important thing of all that shit is the dark side of that is the fucking sex addiction stuff where it's like the more you fucking, attach like crushing pussy to you winning, the more that can just take over. So then you have to like, you have to be
that's not that's not the best North Star in your life to be like, that's the one thing you're.
But it's hard to do that because like you have a guy that's like, a lot of these people, it's like, which obviously they're all good. It's like, get rich, get successful, get pussy, get all like, but the easiest one to crack first is get pussy.
Yeah.
So you get people being like, all right, the rich thing's not going that good, this thing's not going that good, but I'm getting a lot of pussy, so I'll keep just winning at the one I'm winning at.
Sure.
And then you just like, the truth is like, there's a lot of broke guys getting lots of pussy, right?
Yeah, because they go, I'm a DJ, and they go,
whatever it is.
Well,
Yeah,
but I'm
Any
saying they're not
identity,
but they're not successful at it.
No, any identity.
Yeah. I mean, even how many like fucking just like
Low-level comics.
Yeah, low-level comics. Exactly. You go, I'm a comedian. And they
Right.
go, that's
so
kinda
I
cool.
think that I think that a lot of times that's and I maybe, who knows? I don't like listen to this guy's stuff enough to know that maybe he says some of this stuff, but there is that where it's a lot of times you you're like, hey, these are all the things that I want to get great at to be like a great guy, like to have the life that I want. One of them's really easy, so all you do is just keep hammering that one down.
Yeah.
Dude, you know how easy it is to be like, okay, well, I know how to get one win today. It's like bang that hot chick.
Yeah, that's gonna get old. Not fast, but it'll get. If that's your one.
It just doesn't solve
singular desire. Yeah, you're gonna
It
just
doesn't
wind up
solve
with
the overall problem of having a better life.
Yeah.
So, well, that's kind of my whole take on all that shit. I feel like that
I think I'm gonna actually sign up and get my master's from my
Masters.
MBA. Would you imagine you go to a doctor, like a therapist, or like even like a fucking just like, a surgeon?
He's the best.
He goes fucking PhD or
I thought
doctor
the best
from
one
Hustlers
though.
University.
No, a guy that does his bachelor's from PragerU. Now he's going to do his master's at Hustlers U.
That would be the best fucking resume. I see here you completed a 4-year degree from PragerU. And 2 years from master's from Hustlers University. Very impressive. Very impressive. Very impressive.
Is there any other
Are you going to
university?
take your sunglasses off for this interview or no?
No.
Oh, I've never been called a bitch before in a interview. That's new.
Get rich. Yeah, that's great.
Should we do that as maybe like a Patreon thing? We'll watch every Hustlers University video because
No.
it's just all videos.
No, we're not much.
I don't think there's any
everyone.
documents.
Dude, a lot of that shit is stuff that you're just like, when
Yeah.
a lot of dudes are talking shit. I remember the band days. It's like, of course.
Yeah.
You're just like, it's like, yeah, the girls say stuff and you're just like, they can say it all they want. The eye roll. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of course.
It's all that thing where like every, dating podcast or like give girls, dudes advice how to manipulate women. Like at let's say if you're looking at it that way. And then girl advice is like what guys should want.
Yeah.
Dude, every guy podcast is like, you shouldn't fuck. Every girl podcast is like, you should just walk in there and be a slut and be fat. And you're just like, yeah, everyone hates that, but like whatever.
Yeah,
It's like,
enjoy dying alone.
well, how many stuff is girls being like, guys shouldn't care if we banged everyone? And it's like, okay, well, most of us do. So I don't know what to do and tell you. Like, not really sure what to tell you here. I do.
Yeah, they do.
And they do.
I mean, a lot of girls care if guys do too.
They don't. No,
Not
they
to the
don't.
same degree, but
No,
no.
they-
I mean, the numbers probably.
They
not
might
the same.
say they care. They don't care.
Yeah.
I think the only way that's that is a girl that's like just dated a bunch of guys that were all like pimps.
Yeah.
And those guys like her experience was like just nonstop, getting treated bad and cheated on, all that sort of stuff. And she's so over that it's a nice change to date someone that like wasn't that again. So in that specific case, she's like, yeah, I'm not looking for a guy. Only guy.
She ties that to that guy.
Well, she's looking for a guy that she can control more because she's just so over that. And then that'll probably get old for her too.
Yeah, we all want someone we can control more.
Girls don't, dude. The more like if you give them too much control, they fucking doesn't like you. They don't actually want that. Really, they think they do.
I think they do. Some do.
Yeah.
But yeah. What do you think about because I know I love my Andrew Tate, the funniest thing is the forehead thing or whatever, the girl's numbers
Yeah,
on the forehead.
numbers on the
You know
forehead.
at Carney's how they have the guess your weight? What about at a carnival where it goes guess your number? It's like a guy like Andrew Tate was smoking a cigar, goes
Yeah.
212. And she's like
212, 40 black, 80 white.
yeah, makes it goes 7 girls, nice.
yeah.
This guy's, and then the guy goes, well, he goes, yeah. He goes, God, this guy's good.
That's a good sketch. Some nun walks by, 190. She's like, "Oh!" Her husband's there.
She's got fucking like sexy lingerie on underneath the nun outfit.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like guess your number. Again, everyone has their different version of it. If you're like, depends on your number. Like if you fucking some dude that's banging, like again, if you're like some celebrity that's banged like 1,000 girls, I think you're probably gonna be like more okay with like if living some wild rock star lifestyle. I think it works for your identity more. Like at the end of the day, guys want to be able to like feel cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can you justify this? Like as guys that date like porn stars and stuff, because you're like, yo, I feel like rappers can be like, yeah, I'm cool. Like they can make it work where they feel cool, and if you feel cool, you can sell it to other people where everyone's like, I don't know, he seems like pulling it off. Like,
Yeah.
But what you don't want is like, you're some guy dating a like porn star and you work at the, steel mill and everyone's talking about you behind your back.
Yeah, that's not the accessory you need to your life as a steel mill worker. Whereas if you're like a rapper, you have an image and that helps. Helps your image.
How does it help you?
Very much at the steel mill is hurting your image if everybody knows your girl's fucking camming or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you're living and what you can justify with your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the bottom line of all
Yeah,
this
I think
stuff.
so.
But anyways, I like this stuff because I feel like we talk about it a lot, and it really is this like man-woman shit is like, Louis had the best joke ever, but when he was like, this racism stuff like was a mistake. Like this, there's in 20,000 years. It probably won't matter what your skin looks like. It'll probably be past that. You know what I mean? There might be some area where everyone's one thing and then they'll still care. But like for the most part, any multicultural society, it only gets people to care less and less and less, you know? But the man-woman stuff ain't going nowhere.
No.
Dude, there's going to be people on people in their space pods in 10,000 years, some guy coming out she fucking this one. She won't
I mean,
stop.
it's an important power dynamic. As long as men are required and women are required to make new people,
Yeah.
there's this power dynamic that'll never disappear.
Never.
Yeah.
And unless they change people's biologies, people operate a certain way.
Yeah.
But the good news about girls and manipulating men is most girls aren't good at manipulating men because they refuse to look at reality. So it's like it's hard to get manipulated as a guy because girls look at the world very ideologically, and they like so many girls look at like what should be or what they want to be or what someone told them it is, as opposed to like the fucking what's actually going on here.
Yeah.
So it's like they can't get
Guys
you
don't get
much.
as manipulated as much as just like worn down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't get. Yeah, they're not getting manipulated. Like guys will use like a stick.
do get beat
Guys will
down.
use like a stick of dynamite, and women will use just like a piece of sandpaper. You know.
Yeah, guys. No, know what it is. Guys will convince women. Like they'll convince. Like girl will be like, yo, you're gonna do this and you actually want to do it. Like that's how you manipulate girls. Or you actually don't want to like go party with those friends. And she's like, yeah, I don't want you. That's a Like if you really manipulate a girl like in a good way, where it's like you. Sometimes it's a positive thing, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could help them, but you basically convince them. Girl manipulating guys is a girl like, I want you to do this, and you're like, I don't want to do this, but I don't know if I exist anymore.
And then she just randomly acts really cold. And
Ryan doesn't like doing that, but I think Ryan might be dead, so. I'm pretty sure I remember not liking this, but I don't really.
I don't know, Ryan. I don't even know who Ryan is anymore. Ryan needs to be taken to a fucking camp for re-education. You're just literally watching old videos of yourself to be like, I don't remember any of this. He goes, we know your brain's been wiped. We're trying to get you back.
I don't think that I like this, but I'm not sure.
You literally get
dead.
like you get renditioned or whatever. Someone puts a fucking black bag on your head, scoops you up, flies you over to the Tate compound in Romania to watch videos of yourself, just to get you back. It's like the boys. The boys all fucking. It's like a rehab. The boys all kick
Reverse
in.
rehab.
Yeah, it's like a reverse rehab where they all kick in. You get fucking scooped out.
Yeah, and they go, this was you 5 years ago, and you're just like banging two chicks, they got your middle fingers up, everyone's like,
Who is he?
who is that guy?
I don't.
Seems like bad news. I wouldn't, my girl wouldn't want me hanging around that guy, and they go, that guy? This is you, right?
What?
Look at the tattoos. Yeah. What? But he's bad.
I finish it.
But that's me, but he's misbehaving.
He's being a bad boy.
It's you as the vice rehabilitation reporter. I had another rehabilitation one. Oh, that's what it was. Rehabilitation for guys that can't stop tweeting about January 6th.
January 6th, it was a dark day in America's history. You see that fucking kid who ratted on his dad?
Oh,
There's a lot of those.
Oh, yeah.
we covered
talked
one of
about
them.
that.
No, but there's another one. He just got seven. He
one?
got 7 years the other day. A lot of those fucking people were
From the Sun?
son.
That's a snitch that needs to get a stitch, huh?
Yeah, and the son still stands by it. I mean, the dad was a moron.
Yeah.
I'm not defending the dad. He literally like showed up with fucking zip ties and all this shit to the capital of Washington D.C.
He thought he was going to get Pence.
Yeah, he did. I really think the noose was a bad idea.
You thought Pence was about to get it, eh?
Yeah.
That guy thought he was doing something.
Yeah. They get mixed up, you know?
Yeah. Well, anyways,
that's
they're
good.
all lying to you. And also, it is important to, to focus on money before you actually do anything. It's very hard to do anything important if you don't have any cash.
Yes.
So, it's going to take another quick second here to tell the fellas about BetterHelp. Now, if you're interested in therapy, you're trying to get stuff together, you don't want to go to some traditional, meet you once a week in person, take all this time out of your life, you have to change a bunch of stuff about you. If you do want to get into therapy, a good way to do it is BetterHelp online therapy. Now, how we care for our minds affects how we experience life, so it's important to invest time and care into keeping them healthy. And one of the interesting things about BetterHelp is someone that's a big fan of the podcast messaged me, and he is like a therapist, and he's sent us a few things. He's a really smart guy, and he says one of the things he does is he is a online therapist at BetterHelp.
Oh, really?
And he's like super cool guy. So it's like you're getting people like that that actually understand
the
stuff.
boys.
Yeah, but it's just a good. So I thought that was super
That is
cool.
cool. Yeah.
He messaged me, and I thought that was super cool because it would be a better thing if people want to do it for our audience. I feel like this would be a good way to talk to someone. And BetterHelp's online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat only therapy sessions, live chat only. So if you don't want to see someone on camera, you don't have to. And it's much more affordable than in-person therapy. So on top of the fact that I'd rather do this anyway, it's much more affordable. You can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours, and you can use them on your schedule. So our listeners are getting 10% off the first month at betterhelp.com/boyscast. That's betterhelp.com/boyscast. Speaking of some of the, you said something that corresponded to this. I can't remember what, but the guessing the weight. That's why I pulled up this article as you said that, because it reminded me of this.
This was also actually I tied them in.
Did you too?
That was a mental tie-in.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
When you said that, so this is probably one of the bangers in a while. But in Hamilton, which is a city in Toronto, in Canada.
Yeah.
So Hamilton Water Park is in hot water for weighing the guests before they go down the slide.
It's insane. So crazy. This is the thing. This is like the classic thing with all like everything right now, where they go, look, we don't want to single anyone out, so we're gonna make everybody's lives miserable because a tiny fraction of people this affects. So we're just gonna make everyone's lives.
How are they making them more miserable?
Dude, so their weights, so you give the preamble of or whatever, like the...
Well, that's it. They're weighing people before you get on the slide to make sure that you don't fucking break the slide like a whale.
But it's only for people who are over 300 and 400 pounds for the different slides, right? So, dude, look, if someone walks in, you have a pretty good idea. Ryan shows up, you go, you're not 300 pounds.
You're not weighing me.
Why are you weighing? You fucking your girlfriend or whatever, anybody, like your kids, you're not 300 pounds. We don't need to do this for every person, right? But the problem is someone's 295 and they go, I got to make a decision right now about.
Is that what they were doing? They were only weighing some of the people?
No, they're weighing everybody because they don't want to make the mistake of fucking being like someone's like 295. You go, you think I'm over 300 pounds? Right? And so then it's just the thing. They go, look, we're just gonna.
I guess they have
everybody.
things when you're walking. Yeah, I see.
Dude, it's like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar shows up to the ride at Disneyland, or fucking Shaq shows up and they go, hey, can you go up against the thing? We got to make sure you're above 4'8".
The weight one is tough though. I understand the idea of like having a fucking 800-pound woman and you have to be like it's your first day on the job.
Well, that's why you need carnies. You got to go, and there's no shortage of carnies in Hamilton.
That's a tough gig. The guy who has fat women to step on the scale to see if they're too fat for the ride.
Dude, that's literally
that's a
abuse
tough
you're
summer
gonna
job.
Yeah, you give some kids, some high schooler to fucking do this job.
That's rough, right? So a part of me is like,
but it's for three. Like again,
you go, listen. Let's just make everyone step on the scale. Don't pay attention to the scale when they're not fat.
Yeah,
like obviously, like everyone just kind of walks on the scale. If they're fat, then you go like you actually look only if they're fat. To me, that's how you do it.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and I mean it must be a public scale because, dude, these are busy water parks, right? Like you create too much friction. People don't want to go. They're like, what? So it takes me 4 hours to fucking get on this thing, you know? Like, so it's like I understand the reasoning behind it, where they go, we don't want to single anyone out, so we're going to inconvenience everyone. But like, you know, you have an idea who's going to be in the ballpark.
I think it should go the opposite way. If this park was based, they go, you know what? You guys complained, and now the scale weight. You know what you could do? I'll tell you an easy solution. The scale weight, it's just on the path on the way there, and everyone has to stand on it for 2 minutes.
It's like a way station for trucks.
However, it goes on like the biggest sign of the whole water park.
There's
right?
a siren if you're over 300.
So if you're close to 300, you're not doing that.
No, air raid siren.
Right? Yeah. So it just sorts itself out. You go, you know what? If you're over 300, you just step on it. And if you're over 3 bills, it goes, woo, woo, woo. Trap door comes on. You go on a bigger slide out the fucking door. But if you did that, you go, if someone's over 3 bills, it goes, 3 bills. Like a pop shot. Like,
yeah. 3 bills.
So then, we are the champion
of the world.
of the weight.
Yeah, fucking streamers come down from the rafters.
Exactly. Something like that happens. And if you do that, anyone that's 300 pounds naturally is going to weigh their fat self at home before they fucking, you know, if you weigh in, you go 199, you go, I can't try. If you weigh in, you go weigh in 180, 285, you go, I'm good.
Yeah, I wonder if it's what's the reasoning behind it. Like, is it one, a structural, like, weight, it's going to break?
Or
is
you
it
get
stuck?
stuck?
Or do you get too much speed and there's just these fucking, like, 400-pound people just getting, like, shot into the parking lot? Uh-oh. We lost the mannequin. Oh, the set's down. No, you knocked over the mannequin.
Oh, I'm dropping all sorts of stuff.
No, it's the mannequin.
This fella's falling too. Though.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Whatever.
Okay, yeah, whatever. No, but I'm saying it's actually still tilted. The mannequin.
What's the mannequin?
The mannequin.
Oh, I thought you were calling one of these things a mannequin.
No, I was calling the mannequin a mannequin. But yeah, it was... I mean, yeah.
Danny and his fancy words.
Man, his fancy fucking words.
He's goes
to Hustler University for 1 week, and all of a sudden he knows what a mannequin is.
know what happens is like, you know, you go, you start out like you're fucking, it's like a montage of you at Bragg or you being like, these fucking libtards, and then it's you leaving Hustler, you like, these fat libtards. Like, you just add things like, these broke fat libtards.
Yeah, it's like when you graduate PragerU, you throw your cap up in the air, and then when you graduate Hustler University, you just throw it at a fat person.
No, when you graduate Hustler you throw your like hair up in the air, now you're bald. Hell yeah.
But yeah, this is an insane thing for Wild Water.
But don't you think my solution
Waterworks
would solve it? Is they just do a ding, like even just like doesn't even have to be that big, like a red light goes boing. That's what it goes boing. You reach
trapdoor.
Because then no one would do it over 3 bills. It would be a self-regulating system.
I mean, they must not advertise this because most women are not gonna go fucking do this.
Exactly.
If they
but this is a fat. This is
deal?
like a girl that's on TikTok being like a fat empowerment girl, right? She's gonna go on there and weigh in and then be like, "Whoa, I can't go on the slide." Like, you know what I mean?
Sure, lady, go for it.
Go for it.
What if they go, look, you can go on it, but we have to oil you up. Go grab the lard, and there's a lard guy.
They grab the lard. The guy just grabs her. They go, no, the bucket. Oh, sorry.
So she doesn't get stuck in the thing. That's good shit.
Also, there's one funny thing.
But also, you know what? Shout out to all the over 400 people who are going to a goddamn water park.
Yeah, you got some audacity.
I mean, whatever. Good for you.
Right. No, it is. It's these women that are like, I'm fat and I'm beautiful and everyone should love it and they should, you know.
Yeah, body positivity, slide negativity. It's just, you know,
exactly
not working on the Slido. Shout out to Wild Waterworks and
Salman Bushy. There's this guy named Salman Bushy.
This guy's got some fucking balls.
You saw that? Yeah, this guy's
got
great,
some
right?
Real balls.
So there's every once in a while there'll be like some guy that'll post like a photo of his fat like wife or something and be like, she's, I love her despite the way that she's fat. And girls and like every normal girl's like, if my boyfriend did that, I would kill myself.
Yeah, I love her despite the fact that she was not allowed on the slide at
exactly
Wildwater
right.
Works.
Like the guys are doing it to be like, they think they're helping in the movement. You know what I mean? Being like, you know what, like. I don't care that she's disgusting and I could have had a way hotter girl, but I love her and she's beautiful to me. And everyone's like, that is like, you've been doing too much Sean King you or whatever. Like this is Vice you.
Much.
You've been drinking a little too much Vice you.
The only thing I'll say about this guy is
actually think that's cool.
I guess he lives in Africa or something. Maybe things are different down there because he took some fucking heat.
Yeah. I tip the scales down in Africa.
She's not even terrible looking.
No, she's fine. But it's just so funny that he criticized his fiance. He wrote this letter and he goes, "You're not the most beautiful in the woman in the world. Neither are you the most intelligent woman. But I've chosen to never find perfection in anyone else. I put my gaze on you." Anyways, he goes on and on. But he just like keeps sliding in. Like, can you imagine your chick being like, honestly, it's your birthday. You don't got the biggest dick. You're not the best at sex. You're not the smartest. You don't have the most money. You're not particularly attractive. But I don't care. You go, what the?
Yeah, really?
She goes, and you're not particular.
Are you negging? It's just like a negging.
I don't care that this woman is disgusting, smells bad, fat, sloppy, doesn't dress particularly well for her body type.
Does her makeup bad. Has
bad makeup.
thinning hair.
Just has a weird face. I can't even particularly describe the
It's
reason
like a
why.
Picasso-esque face.
Picasso-esque
But
situation.
boy, do I love her.
One nostril noticeably larger. I don't say anything because I'm in love with this girl. Bad eyebrows.
What is perfection? She doesn't know.
She's got no clue.
She has
I
no
do, but have chosen to ignore.
I could do so much better than you, honey.
Shrieky
and I
voice.
don't.
And I do. Boop, not. Boop the bad nose.
Bad nose. You can use a nose job too. Did I mention that?
Could definitely use a nose
Huge
job.
honker. Massive honker.
Huge honker.
Flat
no
ass.
honkers.
Yeah, no honkers, real flat ass.
She got a flat ass.
You really have nothing going on, but I love you and you're perfect in
Bad.
your own way, and that way is the opposite of perfect. Is you couldn't be more flawed.
Bad job. Doesn't particularly contribute to our financial situation. Still got to hear about it.
It's
every
almost
day.
like there's something wrong with me for liking you. It's, there's something going on inside of me. It's like I have a body dysmorphia, but for you.
Stupid.
Dumb bitch.
But I've made the decision to love you. And that's how much I'm committed
The best.
to
I
you.
just love it because when this guy was writing this up, he thought like, "Oh, this is the most romantic thing."
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "This is gonna kill on social media," because obviously this is for social media.
When I look at you, I think to myself, moo. How now, brown cow?
He goes, in our culture, normally I would get a goat for you, but I would have to give a goat just to get rid of you. It's not looking good.
It's not looking good, but luckily. You know who's been fucking simp is pretty funny. And with a couple of quick things, Kyle Rittenhouse has some Instagram hoe. You know Kyle Rittenhouse?
Yes,
He's the
I've
guy
heard of
that,
him. Yeah. My hero?
Your hero?
Yeah, my hero, Kyle Rittenhouse, yeah.
Danny has a shrine of Rittenhouse. Well, Danny said that, you know what? He likes him so much that he turned Rittenhouse into a written home. Well, I think this girl is trying to turn Rittenhouse into a home.
She is, yeah. Yeah, so he got, I saw a picture of it. He got just like some.
Well, he's got some fucking Instagram hoe girlfriend, and they're on TikTok making videos being like, like they're a YouTube like travel couple. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Where it's like, the travel couple where they go, but it's so funny, dude. You gotta watch these like Kyle Rittenhouse videos. He's like, it'll be
like Gabby Petito.
They're
and that
one
guy?
step away from doing TikTok dances when she's like this and I'm like this. It's like they're doing all this stuff. They post photos. in the bed
You know what?
together.
He
and
was
stuff like
found
that.
not guilty, but I guess the world decided to punish him.
The world decided to punish him. It's pretty funny what Rittenhouse is doing because he's like, he was gonna be this like, I'll be this like Ted Cruz shitlord. It took 5 seconds for a girl. Or not Ted Cruz, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, Jack Posobiec or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then it took 5 seconds for like the.
You just started getting some pussy.
Oh, he got that like, shoot tang.
Yeah.
I think the right wing snatch started coming in.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure it was fucking couldn't shake it off with a stick.
Did you see Martin Shkreli, friend of the podcast, posted yesterday?
Yes, I sent it to you.
Did you see it after I saw it independently? And then you.
That is, he's so funny, man. If he literally made a spreadsheet, because his ankle monitor comes off in September, and he made a spreadsheet for women to book dates with him. And there's like literally
Incredible.
the categories are like fuck on the first date, yes or no, weight, age, height. Like he's literally like weight.
Incredible.
What do you do? Dude, every single thing. And he's like, what? Is this not what you're supposed to do?
That's the most.
But it's also
boss shit.
totally full.
Really?
Yeah, the whole thing's full.
Wait, the names are on it for everyone to see?
I don't know if the names are on it.
Oh, the slots just
the slots are.
out.
Yeah, it's full.
Maybe that's him blocking out spots to make it look like it's in demand.
Maybe. I mean, if it is, good idea if he's going through that.
Wow.
Any ladies out there want to get in with the Shkrels?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Couple spots open in November. Looks like.
Actually, you know what? Speaking of, because I mentioned Ted Cruz, one thing that made me laugh is like Ted Cruz fancies himself like a, tootin' shooting cowboy.
He literally has a
type, right?
mullet.
He has a mullet now?
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a mullet.
Yeah, he's fucking gone like that kind of classy mullet. Yeah,
Like he didn't have that before, did he?
No, that's like recent. In the
Oh, so
last,
he's
year
trying
or
to.
two.
Well, I think that's what happens is like him like saying abortion's bad like kind of fits under Pone and Libs, and I think he's really like leaning into this personality.
Yeah, and he lives in Texas, so it's like a Texas thing.
Right, but he was doing a thing, and he stands up and he goes, "My pronouns are kiss my ass."
Yeah, I saw that the CPAC or the convention or
My
whatever.
pronouns are. That's the most like shit someone's dad
And
would
he
say.
came out to like it looked like a fucking like a NFL football game or like a wrestling. Like
Yeah,
when
that's-
you come out on the stage at SummerSlam, he's like comes out and it's like like the smoke goes.
Is that
on,
not some
pyro.
dad shit? Have you ever seen?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's like he has more like irony than I'm like aware of.
I don't think so.
I don't
Not on
know.
that. I think he just was like knew that would get a big reaction. As
But do you think like he thinks that's
conservative-
sick, or do you think he's like kind of kidding?
That's a good question, actually.
It is a good question.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. I want to say he has enough awareness to not straight 100% think that's sick.
That's true.
And there must be some irony to it.
Well, okay. Last thing. Speaking of getting rich, one of the Patreon people have a question. So Cathie Wood just sold Coinbase stock at an all-time low as a big loss for the girls, right?
Yeah.
So Cathie Wood was the ultimate girl, like propped up a female investor that just got obliterated the last 2
She
years.
has been fucking destroyed.
And he said, "Is that a
a tell?
It's a time to sign, time to buy?"
There's a lot of people out there who are saying, but Coinbase is facing like a lot of issues. And one, the fact is
Voyager that you told me to buy a lot of money and I lost like fucking 40 grand.
oh, Voyager, dude, they went bankrupt.
Nice. Oh, I'm aware.
I got destroyed on that as well. But the thing is, there's so little faith in the crypto thing with all these fucking brokerages literally getting hacked and like going bankrupt and all this stuff. So I can't
What
see
do you
them-
mean? What's going on?
There's all these there's the Celsius. There's like all these because of the 3
Why are they all getting hit? Just
3 arrows because
why was
the
it not
Lu-
happening before and it's
because of the
happening more
Luna
now?
thing. So the Luna thing blew up, and then there was all these.
So what happened? Just
So the reason,
explain it. I'm,
okay,
like, confused.
so Luna was this cryptocurrency with that guy Do Kwon that he made, and they had this stable coin, this algorithmic stable coin, which was supposed to be pegged to the U.S. dollar. The whole thing fell up. The whole I felt like I got pegged, and then it all fell apart. Right, the whole thing fell apart, and then there were all these like hedge funds, these crypto hedge funds that were exposed. 3AC was one of them. So like something like Voyager, they were offering yield on your crypto, and so people were like, where does the yield come from? And they were essentially loaning out the crypto to this like 3AC that said they were safe, and
So
they
how
weren't.
can it be pegged to the dollar?
So
if
there was
you're
a-
fucking leveraging it. Is that the idea?
Well, no,
Oh.
it was pegged algorithmically, but what happened is the whole thing fell apart, and then there's all this counterparty risk. So all these things blew up, and so Voyager made a $650 million unsecured loan that they're just not getting back.
And they loaned
there's
that to the Luna guy?
No, they loaned it to Three Arrows, which was this big crypto hedge fund, which was
then
just
they loaned it
straight,
to the
just
Luna
like
guys.
leverage trading crypto at like, the biggest scale you could get.
Right.
So they blew up as well. And there's all these blow ups happening all over crypto. So then you're like, who right now in their right mind is like signing up a Coinbase account?
So is there a lot of guys that were like billionaires that are now like, I'm broke?
I mean, if they are, that's insanely idiotic. Some of them are saying they are, but people don't
Well,
believe,
a lot of them
people
probably
don't
had all
believe
their
them.
money in the company, I guess. Like a lot of people, like their companies, they're now.
But I mean,
worth,
dude,
right?
no, but a lot of them, like for like the Do Kwon guy, he's like, yeah, I'm doing bad just like everybody else. But you're like, look, if you
You're
had
not.
$5 billion like 6 months ago, you're trying to tell me you didn't just take out a little bit of
you
that?
have,
Just-
you have
just
$5 billion all in Luna still.
Yeah, all in Luna and went to zero. Like bullshit. Like you took some of it out and some of it's hopefully in
got
real
you.
estate or whatever the fuck, right? But I mean, with Coinbase, it's like their fees are insanely high. They're, I don't know. Like I wouldn't buy Coinbase personally.
Well, I have Coinbase, and we talked about it on the thing, but I only bought
yeah, there
Bitcoin,
is
Ethereum, and then I don't touch it.
yeah, I'm not saying.
It's like I've literally made 2 trades in my life.
Yeah,
you know?
that's fine. If you want to own
Maybe
it,
4.
if you want to own it, whatever, that's fine. I'm just saying, are they getting new clients?
Seems like it's the least one that gets hacked. All these other ones you're talking about seem like they're getting
It's
hacked.
not even the hacking thing, is that it's a business and they're like, are people, they have, I think I read they have like $6 billion in cash, but like, are new people signing up
So
for
if
Coinbase
people
right
had
now?
these like, so these are exchanges that people have their money on, and they just go, your money's gone.
Like Voyager, yeah, like they're Voyager saying
If
you'll
you
get
had like your
crypto-
balance on Voyager, that's just gone.
I mean, you can't get it right now. You can't touch it.
That's
They're saying that you'll get some of it
wild.
back, but
Dude, so some people are just like, I have, $1 million in crypto and I use Voyager to trade it. That's where my wallet is. And
Some
they're just
people,
like,
yeah.
And they're just like, well,
They're literally
not
like,
your key- it's like
we-
not your keys, not your coin. Like you
It's
never really
literally-
own them.
Yeah, you never really own them. And I mean, dude, if there's been times in the
Whoa.
past where people had their money with a bank and the bank goes insolvent and then you
A run
lose-
on a bank.
run on a, but not even that, but it's more like
Run on a bank.
You have your FDIC insurance up to $250K, but if you have more than that and the bank goes bust, you get your $250K. But the thing is Voyager, these crypto brokerages aren't insured. Right, so you're like, there's just all these risks that people were taking that people didn't realize existed. That there were. I mean, dude, the amount of stories I read of people who were like, yeah, the Luna stable coin was giving you like a 9% yield a year. So people were like, yeah, I took out a line of credit against my house that was paying 3%, put it all in this Luna thing. I make an easy 6%. And then you're like, well, there was risk involved that you didn't realize. And now you lost
That's
everything.
everything.
I mean, yeah, if you're getting a yield, there's a risk involved. Like there's always risk. There's no such thing as a risk. The only thing that's risk free is treasury bills. Like if you, because then you're like
Like a guy
the
named Bill
counterpart
that works at the Treasury. He's a risk-free guy. If your name's Bill and you work from the Treasury, dating that guy, he's not going to be fucking up to some weird shit. He's not going to be at the club every night. Just Bill from the Treasury
just doing
Department.
blow with your fucking money. But, I mean, the only thing that's risk free truly is the
Bill
backing,
Paxton.
the
Bill Paxton movies are generally very good. So when you're turning
Paxton?
one on, it's not
Paxton.
Paxton is not a very high risk thing.
Not
to
a
watch
high
in
risk
movies because they're pretty good, right? That's what you mean.
Yeah, well, he was in the Storm Chaser one with I don't know if women in Storm Chasers remember, but no, I mean like other than the U.S. government, everything has some sort of risk.
The Declaration of Independence isn't that high risk.
I mean, ask Cage. Ask Cage if it's
Another
not
bill that's not high risk. So if you were someone right now, not financial advice, would you fucking be piling in right now?
into Coinbase.
No, into crypto. Oh, into Coinbase. Yeah, but
I
think
still think we're in a bear market rally. That would be my guess. So I'd probably say
You'd
no.
love that, eh? You'd love a fucking rally with a bunch of bears.
Yeah, I fucking would. Except for all the pox on my face.
I think I had too many today of gay jokes.
Yeah,
I think if I look at the whole thing,
like literally.
I started
too
out
many?
hot. I honestly think if I maybe 3, but if I look at the whole thing, if I feel like I had some bangers, but if I took 3 away, I did the perfect amount.
Yeah, well, I kind of.
And then once I overdid it, I overcompensated by going harder.
Well, that's rich, Ryan. Because last night on Low Value Mail, I literally took a fucking red pen and drew monkeypox all over my face to start the show.
Redfield.
I and people thought I got monkeypox in Europe.
That's funny stuff.
Like
dude.
people were in the chat were like, what's going on? Does he actually have monkeypox?
Took a bit of a baguette, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but, hey, honey, I'm just going to the meatball and baguette shop. Why is there so many fucking men?
What's going on with your
their
face?
standard issue Italian wife beater at the baguette and meatball shop?
Big Bob.
Danny just comes back with just a bib.
But yeah, I don't know. You could fade Cathie Wood on a lot of stuff. I mean, again, her whole thing too is she does the Warren Buffett thing where she goes, "Talk to me in 10 years," and you go, "Well."
She sold it though.
Well, no, but the arc in general.
Yeah.
The arc is a better.
Well, you know what the problem with her is? Like,
the
obviously
Coinbase.
that's the case. Talk to me in 10 years. But the problem is, well, they weren't talking to you in 10 years when they were talking about how great you were with one,
Yeah, when everybody was doing well.
Yeah,
Like,
but
nobody was.
Why
doing-
were you were getting propped up? You weren't saying talk to me in 10 years.
Yeah, the only
or maybe
people
she
who
was, I don't know.
No, she's always been. No, she was being like, "I'm a fucking greatest genius of all time."
And now she's
a year
like,
ago,
oh,
and now she goes, "Talk to me in 10 years."
That's kind of my point. You can't
Yeah.
have it both ways. You can't take the short-term praise and then not, and then when it's negative, you go, it's a long-term play.
Well, exactly.
But-
Yeah,
okay.
she's,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got an extra episode kicking. Last week's episode, we had some of our best bits on the Patreon, and
Yeah.
So if you haven't signed up, there's hundreds of episodes now. Maybe not hundreds, but quite a few fucking episodes.
We're up
That's for
there.
sure. Yeah, and this has been the Boys Cast.
BOYSCAST.
The boys,
The BOYSCAST.
the lads,
It's the BOYSCAST.
the dudes.
Prepare yourself.